So over the past couple of weeks, everybody has been gripped by Olympic fever. And Team GB and I have done really well with their medals haul. And it's been great to watch all sorts of different sports events. But one event in particular jumped out at me right from the very start of the Olympics. And that was the men's cycling road race. And the British team was regarded as being the best team in the field. And we had 4 guys, one of whom was the main gold medal hope, a fellow called Mark Cavendish. And he's thought of as being the best kind of sprint finish cyclist in the road race. And so the plan was that our 4 guys would control the whole race in order to make sure that it's a tight finish so that Cavendish could use his sprinting skills to head for the gold. That was the plan. But as I watched this event for several hours, it soon became clear that only 4 guys in the team was not going to be enough to control the whole race. They'd bitten off more than they could chew, and it was just too much for them to handle. And that became clearer and clearer as the race went on, and it was just too much for them to do. And as it came towards the end of the race, there was even a breakaway where a small group bolted ahead of the rest, and it was never going to be a sprint finish. It was never going to be a close finish. This group just burst away, and people left it too late to try and reel them in, to try and catch them up. And in the end, all the medals came from that breakaway group. And our British team's plan wasn't successful. And I watched different cycling events, but that one road race never seemed to shift from my mind. And 2 things kind of jumped out at me, which I thought could be useful for us to think about. The first was that our group just took on too much. It was too much for them to handle, trying to control the whole race. And secondly, as this breakaway happened, they left it too late in order to try and react, in order to adapt, in order to change, to do something. And these are things that can happen to us in life, aren't they? And quite often we could find ourselves in a situation where it just feels like there's too much for us to deal with, there's too much for us to handle. And we can leave it too late before we do anything about it. We can leave it too late before we change something. We can leave it too late before we maybe turn to God and offer what's happening to God. And really, we don't need to fall into those traps. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight." To make sure that we don't end up in a situation that we perhaps shouldn't be in, or perhaps it's just too much for us to handle, that what we have to do is to submit each day to God. Just give it over to him. Each activity, each little plan that we maybe have, hand that over to God and seek his direction. Now, life's not always going to be a bed of roses. We're always going to face some kind of challenge, and it's often sent by God to teach us. So what can we do when we're in a situation where we just maybe feel a bit overwhelmed? Well, the big thing is, don't leave it too late. Don't leave it too late to turn to God to ask for his help. Jesus invites us to do that. He says in Matthew 11, "Come to me, all who are weary and heavy burdened, and I will give you rest." We don't need to leave it too late like the cyclists. We can turn to God. We can commit everything to God from day one and allow him to carry us through the hard times and direct us in the way that he would like us to go.